everybody, it's Carpaccio with the weekly Pele report for the Astrology of the Soul for December 4th of 2024. Can you believe it is December? But I got a beautiful day out here, and it is great to get back to the river. Take me to the river. Baby, we got so many aspects, things going on. I'm sure you are feeling the energy. It's changing. It's shifting. Man, oh man, so many things going on. Oh, I'm going to get tired just going through the aspects. No, really. What we basically, retrograde Mercury is coming back to conjunct with the sun and oppose Jupiter. So just think of it. Planet Earth is right in between the sun and Mercury on one side and Jupiter on the other. I'll go into that a little more because there's so many aspects. I'll talk about it later, but I don't want to trip and fall down this mountainside either. I don't need to do a roll into the river. So, I mean, that's the big thing, right? And, the moon is starting out. We had that new moon last week. She is going through into Aquarius to what? Join not only Pluto, but as of Saturday... Well, Friday, Venus goes into Aquarius. And then Saturday, Venus conjuncts Pluto. So, it's another big change, right? Venus has been in Capricorn for like a month or so. And she is changing energies from Earth to outer space. Yeah. And a couple of things... Number one, and I want to talk about this, Mars. I'll read you the Sabian symbol for Mars is coming to a dead halt from the perspective of planet Earth. Okay, obviously, the planets don't stop. But from where we are, the way that we're, moving around the sun together, it looks like Mars is stationing to go retrograde at the 7th degree of Leo. I'll be reading the Sabian symbol for that and talking about that a lot more. And at the same time, Neptune is also standing still from our perspective. Only instead of going backwards, Neptune is going direct at the 28th degree of Pisces. And he's going to keep going 28, 29, boom, we're going to have Neptune going into Aries next year. He's in his final stages of Pisces, yeah. And after the sun, connects to Mercury there, it's going to continue to move on in through Sagittarius. We've got the fire going on. Mars in Leo, Sun in Sag, and that Sun is going to trine Chiron in Aries by next Tuesday. So, I mean, that is just so much. And at the same time, I got to say one last thing. It's not only that the Sun and Mercury are opposite Jupiter, but if you will recall, we are in a very long Jupiter square Saturn. So Mercury is going to exactly square Saturn on Friday. And actually today, the Sun is square Saturn. So you may be feeling a little overwhelmed with too many responsibilities. And there is a little bit of a struggle going on between freedom, Jupiter, and responsibility, Saturn. And what can I say? I don't blame you. I'm feeling it myself. I'd like to just hang out here at the river, but there's too much to do, right? Yeah. All right, well, let me find a good spot. Sit down, look at you, talk to you about all this astrology. I mean, so the moon does move on through Pisces, and I will be reading the Sabian symbol for that first moon square sun. The first quarter square is happening on Sunday. Moon in Pisces, sun in Sag. All right. Where to begin? Where to begin is the question. And I did notice how just even in the introduction here today, this is part of the thing with Sun, Mercury, Jupiter in opposition. Exuberance. Jupiter is optimism, exuberance, expansion. Moving through Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, so this is very powerful. It's called a mutual reception when the ruler of Sagittarius is is in Gemini, and the ruler of Gemini is in Sagittarius, and it is particular lessons, that can come with a mutual reception, and of course one of these is just having so much to do with the expansion of consciousness, and it's so apropos with Venus moving into Aquarius and Pluto just in Aquarius, this expansion of consciousness, not only globally, Aquarius is global, but then cosmic, and moving beyond this third dimension. But the exuberance can, what is it? If a little is good, more is better. I mean, that's the message of Jupiter. It just wants more, more, more. And so when it comes into this opposition with Mercury, I mean, it was absolutely perfect. I wasn't even thinking about it this morning, and I ended up in a philosophical conversation, with my housemate, because he has differing belief systems. And there's as many different belief systems as there are, people on planet Earth, because we even interpret the Bible differently, individually, personally. We take this personally, whether it's the Quran or, the Bible or the Dead Sea Scrolls or, ancient Aztec sunstone. There is, a lot of different points of view. And what Jupiter wants to do is open it up, expand the consciousness to include. What Mercury wants to do is narrow it down to my point of view, and particularly with Mars and Leo, my point of view. Okay, what I want to do, who I am, what I am about. And we can get, when Mercury is in, it's called combust. Okay, when it's like this close to the sun, which it is, through the weekend, there is a confusion between the sun, which is myself, and Mercury, which is my thoughts. So we can confuse Mercury-Sun conjunction, okay? This can even be in a natal chart, where it's like, wow, I take my thoughts so, they are so real. And if someone differs or attacks or disagrees, okay, with my perspective or my thoughts, especially in Sagittarius, my philosophy of life, then you can get into disagreements. You can get into arguments. You can get into power plays. You can get into, nuclear wars. You can get into, anything. So, the idea is to move up and outside polarity back into unity consciousness and find the common elements, which is what I ended up doing with with my housemate. It was like, what? Yeah, okay, so I'm talking about, the evolutionary stages, okay, and he's going on like, well, we are all each, okay, individuals, and, it just got into, not so much about stages, but that everybody's equal, and this is a very sensitive topic for very many people, okay, evolutionary stages, and, are we all created equal? Yes, and there is what? the expansion of consciousness. It's just that as we evolve, as we go through many lifetimes on planet Earth, we become more conscious of more and more and more that's going on. We see the matrix and we want to step outside the matrix and see what's beyond and beyond and beyond. Okay, so it's just a matter of, it's not better or worse. It's just the amount of unconscious. I've always said that life is the process of making the unconscious conscious. That's what astrology is about. Your astrological birth chart is a blueprint of your unconscious. And when you look at it with your conscious Mercury, then you become more conscious of your own unconscious, and there's less unconsciousness. Yes, if you ask me. The more consciousness we put into our lives, the better, and the more peaceful, and the more loving, and the more gentle, life on planet Earth can be. So, anyway, I got off on a tangent here. I didn't really mean to go that way, but yeah, so this is a time where, yes, we can come into conflict, or we can rise above conflict and find similarities. And it's very beautiful. And what's one way that we can do that? Astrology! That brings me to the Sabian symbol for, it's one of my favorite Sabian symbols, for this first quarter square moon, right? It is in the, where are we? Come on. Oh, no. This is not for the moon. This is for Mars. And I'm going to come back to Mars, but this is such a great Sabian symbol, I want to read it to you. The constellations of stars shine brilliantly in the night sky. Yes. The power of basic spiritual values, which refer to our common humanity and to all enduring archetypes. This is Mars. Mars is at this 7th degree. It's standing still there, for this whole week. It takes a while before it actually starts to go retrograde, so it's stationary right now. The experience of the night sky with its multitude of stars, especially brilliant in all the countries from which astrology came, is just as basic and archetypal an experience as that of sunrise, full moon, and seasonal changes. Every people on this earth has developed the concept of constellations, probably because of a need to find order in existence and to personalize everything that could be given permanent form. Such personalizations can be called psychic projections. But the projection concept should be worked out both ways. If we project our basic human nature upon the star-filled night sky, is it not just as logical to say that the universe projects its own forever evolving patterns of order upon human nature? In either case, we deal with archetypal factors which endure through a long series of generations. So this symbol once more stands, its nearly unchanging patterns of star groups are opposed to the sequence of ever-changing fashions and social ideals. The key word here is permanence. There you've got it. If somebody says, how does astrology work and what are the physics behind it and are the stars doing something to us? It's all mirrors, it's all projections. But as much as we project meaning out into, oh, Mars is in Leo, the sign of drama and the king and the queen, and it's coming into this opposition with Venus and Pluto out there in Aquarius, which is Prometheus, the light bearer, total objective scientist energy, impersonal. Leo's personal, right? Venus impersonal. I'll probably be talking more about this Venus opposite Mars next week because she's marching ahead and there will be a Venus opposite Mars, but it's going on this week and next week. And it is this opposition again between Leo, the lion, the lioness, and Aquarius, the water bearer. And one is very personal and dramatic, and the other is very impersonal and objective and scientific and technological. So it's really wow. What's wow about it especially too is, and it just reminds me, I'm trying to buy a paint set for my granddaughter's turning 3, and I go up to the art supply store and it's closed. It's been there for 30 years. Dawn's Art Supplies. I couldn't believe it. But then, of course, we have to believe it. This is the age of Aquarius. Where is everybody shopping? On Amazon. Why get in your car and use gas and take your time when you can just look at your screen and order exactly what you want and get it delivered, for free with Prime or whatever. I mean, this is so tripped out, isn't it? For better or for worse, time is marching on, okay, and technology is marching on, and it's changing our lives in very, very many ways. It's not just that people are glued to screens. Okay, I mean, Venus and Aquarius for the next month can be, I love Venus technology. Oh my goodness. But right now, she's conjunct Pluto. And this is like Inanna visiting the underworld. This is a time of deep transformation through our partnerships, through our relationships, through love, as much as we are able to open, to share. I mean, the magnetism of Pluto is extremely powerful, and you put that with the magnetism, okay, of Venus, and it is like, come to me. I always think of Dracula when I think of, it's like the vampire, Venus, Pluto. It's got this black moon, Lilith. It's got this, seductress energy. It's got this very powerful Kali, the destroyer, feminine energy when Venus comes around to Pluto. Now, we all have a feminine side. We all have Venus. I am not talking about women. I am talking about desire. Pluto, our soul, is the source of all desires. And now Venus is like dipping down and dipping in. So this is a time to really notice and feel and acknowledge your deepest desires. Sexual desires, emotional connection desires, financial desires, the desire to connect and to come into relationship, and the desire to make life beautiful, to make yourself beautiful. Yes, to make your home beautiful, to make the streets and the community beautiful. And to live in beautiful surroundings. Yeah. And it's a time to appreciate the beauty of planet Earth, the beauty of this world. And I dare say the beauty of ourselves. This is really, can be really a time of objectively Aquarius viewing and feeling, and like seeing ourselves, from a distance, from outside ourselves. Yeah, and from that distant perspective, look at the bigger, broader picture of your whole life, of all that you've done, of all that you've given, of all that you've created, of all that you have served. And give yourself a pat on the back. I know Saturn is over there in Pisces saying, in some ways, Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces, Pisces can be very idealistic, and it's never good enough. It's never perfect enough. People could be better. I could be better. The world could be better. This day could be better. Yes, this is true. But let's pause for a moment and move into that place of gratitude, this place in the heart that is really grateful for ourselves, for all the work we're doing on ourselves, for all the effort. And so much of it boils down to, it's, yes, we may, even in nonviolent communication, there's like this non-judgment where nobody is wrong. We're all right. But we create bad strategies. Yeah? And so we can do kind of harmful things, harmful acts, because we have the wrong strategy when we're trying to meet our needs. We're all just trying to meet our needs. So cut yourself some slack, and not only yourself, but with Mercury opposite Jupiter and Venus opposite Mars and this moon coming and the sun and all this square Saturn, try to, let go of some judgment a little bit and move into a place of acceptance. And this is a good week. This is a great week for that. It can be very healing. Sun trine Chiron. Let's heal our wounds around deserving to exist, deserving to get my needs met, deserving to get what I want. I'm just like a plant. I'm just like a tree. I'm just like a deer. I want food. I want sunshine. I want nature. I mean, we all have these basic human needs. So yeah, in so many ways, we are all equal. We all have the same 9, I think, Marshall narrowed it down to 9 basic human needs. I don't want to go into that too much. But there's another need here especially that I want to talk about. Not only do we have retrograde Mercury, but now we have retrograde Mars. And of course, Chiron, Uranus, Jupiter, okay, they're all, in this retrograde happening now. But yeah, retrograde. Rebel, revolt, do it differently. Yeah. So Mars retrograde, whether it is in your natal chart, okay, or whether it is in, in the transit, this is a very powerful time of rebelling. It goes retrograde until February 24th. Back, it's almost like it came out of, the crab. The crab comes out of its little hole on the beach, looks around, moves a little sideways, comes into Leo, and then sees somebody walking along, and whoop, back into Cancer. So Mars is going to go back into Cancer, okay? And it's going to station at 17 degrees of Cancer. Okay, all the way back to almost halfway through the sign of Cancer before it stations direct on February 24th. And then it's going to go direct again. So what is Mars retrograde about? And, this is about, well, what is Mars? Impulse. Yeah? I want to do, I want to act, I want to go. I'm spontaneous, no patience, immediately, boom, I'm off. I have a desire, I want to meet it, joom. Aries, Mars, energy, fire. Well, when Mars turns retrograde, that impulse or that, instinctive nature runs into a boom. Wait a minute. So this is a time of reflect before act. Think before you speak. Think before you act. It's really a time of building great self-consciousness, especially in the signs of Leo and Cancer, the two most personal signs that take things very personally. But that doesn't mean that, you're not supposed to do anything between now and February. Hello? Life marches on. We need to march on. We need to do things. Okay, we're not just here hanging out. Looking at the constellations in the night sky, which is the degree of the retrograde, right? Yeah. But here's the other one that I want to read to you because it's so funny. I thought it was Leo because, well, you'll see why I thought it was Leo, but it's actually the first quarter square moon in Pisces. Yes, indeed. 18 degrees, the 18th degree of Pisces, I think. Methinks. This is really... This is a head turner, right? And it is, sorry to take so long, but in a gigantic tent, villagers witness a spectacular performance. The collective appeal of a well-staged and exciting display of skill and or oratory. So there's a little confusion. I mean, the gigantic tent, okay, that could be, a fundamentalist healing, a minister up there healing people, or it could be a circus tent. But, one way or the other, right? It's really about what takes place is the use of personal achievement and conviction to bring a crowd to a state of enthusiasm sufficient to make it forget its boredom with everyday routine or its familiar sins of commission or omission. This in the individual person and the collectivity. And I'm thinking of, okay, here's Mars and Leo, opposite Venus and Aquarius. Okay, Mars and Leo is the individual. Aquarius is the collectivity, right? And this is what the mantra for this week is about. So let's really look at it. They're brought together in a significant performance which subtly strengthens the communal spirit, directly or indirectly. The implication of the symbol, whenever it is found operating, is that the time has come for the individual to dare to present him or herself and him or her works to their community for applause or for the purpose of attracting a following. What is suggested is public self-dramatization. It's something. I just did a couple of chart readings yesterday, and it was so bizarre because they both had Moon conjunct Neptune, okay, and in Neptune in Scorpio, a little reserved, right, a little inward, maybe a little shy, a little bashful, a little, I'll go with the flow, and if I'm supposed to have friends, I'll have friends, and if people are supposed to show up, or money is supposed to show up, or a job is supposed to show up, it will show up. And this is very Piscean, Neptune types of energy. And then in contrast to that is this go get 'em, like step out of being passive into being assertive. And this is this Mars, whether it's retrograde or direct. Mars is forward action. It is movement. In Leo, it is creative self-expression. It's drama. And Leo can get a hard time for being overly dramatic. I was actually thinking about that on the hike down the hill. You know what? So, people associate drama with Leo, but really, every sign can have their drama. Cancer can be very full of drama. Virgo can be very full of drama. Scorpio is extremely dramatic. Sag can be very dramatic. I mean, if you go through all the different signs, which of course, let's remember, we are all the constellations. We all have Leo somewhere. We all have Aquarius somewhere. We all have Sag somewhere. This is not happening out there far away or just to that sun sign. This is happening, in this constellation, this matrix, this network of energies. And so it is this time where it doesn't have to be egocentric. We could say that immature Leo is about self, and I want the applause, and I want the appreciation, to like lift me up or make me feel stronger or better or more important or da 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 da. But there is also, again, it comes back to intention. What is the intention of the performance? What is the intention of the conversation, of the communication, of the music, of why do we write a song? Why do we paint a painting? Yes, it is a self-expression, but it's also a gift to the community. And it brings, like in the circus tent, it brings people together. And this is how communities form, because they're attracted to, the same types of creative expression. And it's also very beautiful. This week's song is The Piano Man. Sing us a song, yo, the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. And we're all in the mood for a melody. And you've got us feeling all right. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, listen to the lyrics of that song. It is, yes. They're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. I mean, let's really consider that when we give of ourselves, when we share of ourselves, it doesn't have to be egotistical. It can be altruistic. It can be a gift. It can be to help lift the spirits of others during these holiday seasons. Yes, whether it's the homeless or the hungry or your own, grandma or your own children that are going through a difficult time. Drama has its place. Performance has its place. Creative expression is beautiful. Take this time while Mars is in Leo. It's at the 7th degree. It's going back 6, 5, 4, 3. It's still going to be, in Leo through December, much of December. It's very, This is a very opportune time to what? I will take the stage to sing or dance, give a speech, or sound the call. Not out of need, ego, or greed, but to simply lift the spirits of all. I kind of said it wrong. I had the wrong cadence there. Sorry about that. Not a very good performance. A very unimpressive Paley report. We'll have to check that off. But anyway, yeah. I hope that you get this idea here, right? You know, Mercury, Sun opposite Jupiter. Boom. Exuberance. Expansion. Sagittarius. Okay, you know, go into foreign lands or foreign beliefs or foreign territories or foreign, talk to people who, have different beliefs than you. Sing a song, show your artwork, read a poem, do karaoke. But experience. You know, there's a different experience when you go out there full of yourself and try to make it about yourself versus reading the audience, feeling the audience, seeing the audience, and then meeting the audience where they are to fill, what you experience is the need of the audience. It's, yeah. There's a very different tone. There's a very different performance. There's a very different presentation when there is kind of a sensitivity and a listening to the other, whether it's an individual or your family or a tent full of people. We can use this Saturn and Neptune sensitive time, and even the square moon in Pisces, very sensitive to feel into what is the need of the moment. What does love want here, now? Yes. I will take to the stage to sing or dance, give a speech or sound the call. Not out of need, ego, or greed, but to simply lift the spirits of all. May you feel the spirits of St. Nicholas and the spirit of Christmas during this holiday season. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.